Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Veteran and Rookie Podcast. This is your veteran, Benea, speaking.
And I'm John. Hey.
Our rookie. We're going to be continuing going through the divisions. We did the AFC South, actually North, last week. Today, we're going to be doing the AFC South.
Yeah, we had our special guest, Kylie, there. That was so fun.
And, the idea was kind of to get try to get a different fan of a team in every division for the next 8 episodes, but we don't know anybody who roots for the Titans, Jags, Texans, or Colts.
I don't think there is.
I literally just thought of a Colts fan that we know, but
who?
Adam.
I don't know who Adam
from
is.
Church Tattoos.
Oh, shoot.
As soon as we started recording, I was like, I do know a Colts fan. That's right. Sorry, Adam.
That's okay.
You don't know we have a podcast.
That's okay. The Colts are bad.
Yeah, they're well, we'll see what we think about the Colts here
Bad.
in a little bit. But, you want to give them a breakdown in case they didn't tune into the last episode, kind of what we're doing?
Yeah, so we're going to do each division. So there's 8 divisions and 2 separate conferences. I think we're going to try and go through the AFC first. We might hop on over to the NFC.
Yeah, we might kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, we'll see. But right now we are in the AFC South. We did the AFC North. And what we're going to do is usually stupid. We just take each position on offense, so quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, O-line. We just have the O-line all together. And then on defense, we have defensive line, linebackers, and secondary. And then we have special teams and kicker.
Which are separate for reasons.
Separate for reasons, yeah. And for all of them, we have a certain amount of points we can give them. Quarterback is 20. Running back is 8. Wide receiver is 12. Tight end is 8. O-line is 10. D-line is 15. Linebacker is 10. Secondary is 10. Special teams is 7. And kicker is 5. So you can give them 1 to whatever their number is for that. And we ranked all 4 teams in the AFC South. And we will tell you them.
We'll do that right now.
We will, yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Where do you want to start?
Let's start at the bottom here with Houston.
Okay.
The bottom of last year, and could be the bottom of this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
So at quarterback, of course, number 2 overall, C.J. Stroud. I currently got him ranked as a 9 out of 20. It's kind of difficult to judge, rookie quarterbacks right now. So I give him a 9.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. I think I have a bit more hope for him than you do.
Even though he's retarded.
He bombed that test. I really wanted to take it just to see if I could be better than an NFL
You'd probably get
quarterback.
like a 2, but
I think I could get more than 18.
Maybe.
What? It's not.
That'd be cool if we could do that and get you to do that.
I'd like to take that test. I think I could do better than an 18.
You should go to the combine next year.
Maybe
Try
not.
out.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't think they'd let me in.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, so I gave him an 11 out of 20. He's I think he'll be good. I just don't think he'll be that good his first year.
Yeah, most rookie quarterbacks aren't. To running back, I got 6 out of 8 here. Dameon Pierce, he was a solid running back last year. It was his rookie season. Kind of fell off in the second half of the year. But, I mean, when you're also the Texans, you take what you can get. I think he was just shy of 1,000 yards. And I think he'll probably continue to improve. They also signed Devin Singletary in the offseason, who's been all right for the Bills for the last about 4 seasons now. And that's a solid 1-2 punch to have there in Houston.
Yeah, I have him at a 5.5 or a 5.5.
You and your half points.
I don't know what the problem is with half points. We don't have a lot of.
Do you have any .25s going on this time?
No.
Okay, thank goodness.
At the quarter, it's not that big. Whatever. Yeah, Dameon Pierce, I have him at a 5.5, and Devin Singletary. Excuse me.
Bless
oh my
you.
Goodness. Dameon Pierce only played 13 games, but he still almost got 1,000 yards. He had 220 carries, which is kind of a lot. And he had 4 touchdowns, which is not the most amount that
It's also not the least.
It's not the least, no.
Could have pulled a Deontay Johnson, big old goose egg.
Deontay Johnson?
Receiver for the Steelers. He had like 800 yards and no touchdowns last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking of receivers, 5.5 there for your running backs.
5.5 for my running back. And for receivers, I got a 5 out of 12.
Ooh.
They aren't good.
Mm-mm.
They're still receivers. They're still there. I mean,
They're still technically professionals.
technically, yeah. They had, and it wasn't as bad as I'm making it out to be, I guess. Actually, it was. Their
no, it's
top
not great.
receiver had 700 yards, just shy, and their second receiver had 550 yards. Together, they had 5 touchdowns.
Oof.
So I guess it is that bad.
Yeah, I got him ranked at a 4 out of 12, the lowest I've ranked any receiver group so far. Granted, we're only 2 divisions in, and it's only our 5th team in, but their number one receiver is a 31-year-old Robert Woods, who wasn't great last year for the Titans. Year before, tore his ACL, so he didn't still look like he was at 100%. It's not a great number one receiver to have. They traded away Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys in the offseason as well, who was their best receiver. Granted, he didn't want to be there anymore. So, I
wouldn't want to either.
You don't really want to have a bunch of people around who don't want to be there. Nico Collins is a receiver who's there. John Mechie is questionable with cancer. Noah Brown, he was solid for the Cowboys for the last couple years, so he's there now, and he'll probably continue to be solid. And then they also drafted Tank Dell in the 3rd, so we'll see with him.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. You get cancer.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
For sure. What do you got for their tight end?
Yeah, continuing with receiving options, they signed Dalton Schultz in the offseason. He was with the Cowboys, and he's been pretty decent for the last 3 years. So one of the better tight ends in the league, so I give him a 5 out of 8.
I give him a 3.
Ooh.
They don't have any other options on there, and Dalton Schultz is all right. I think maybe 3 was a bit harsh, but yeah, that's why I gave him out of 8. If you only have one tight end that's older and goodish, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't have much outside of Schultz though. Continuing with the offense, now we got the offensive line. What do you got going on in the trenches?
In the trenches, I got a 5 out of 10. Not a lot of explanation for that. I don't know more of these not skill players.
Yeah.
I don't know the other side of it too well. Same for D-line. I just kind of off of what I hear, and I hear that it's not good, so I give them a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave their offensive line just a little bit higher than there. I gave them a 6 out of 10. Laramie Tunsil is still one of the best left tackles in the league. The rest of the guys that are there are okay. They brought in Shaq Mason in free agency this past year. He's all right. They also got 2 players on that offensive line that they took in the first round over the last couple seasons, I think like 2021 and then 2019. So 2 guys who they haven't quite lived up to their potential quite yet, but maybe they still got something there, but not a great line.
Yeah.
Jumping over to defense now, we're going to start in the trenches once again here. I gave them a 9 out of 15. Jerry Hughes, he's starting to get up there in age. He's 34 years old now, but he's coming off of a solid 9-sack season. So, unless he full on just falls off a cliff, which at that age you definitely could, I think he'll continue to be solid there. They also traded up to the 3rd overall pick to take Will Anderson Jr., who's going to be playing opposite of Hughes there, and we'll see if he's worth the boatload they gave up for him.
Yeah, I have them at a 6 out of 15 for kind of the same reasons you said that you have them at a 9, just kind of flip the other way.
You don't value it quite as much?
Yeah, because old people and a new guy. I don't know
I
if
hate old people.
Yeah, I don't like them. Just the worst. Yeah, so I have them at a 6. On the linebackers, what do you think?
Yeah, I gave them a 6 out of 10 here. They got Christian Kirksey.
Me too.
They signed Denzel Perriman and then another Christian Harris in their linebacking core.
Is that the guy with the...
It's all right.
Does his name start with a K?
No, it's another Christian that's coming up. Yeah, and when we get to Tennessee.
Christian with a K.
Yep.
I have them at a 6. I was just looking at their stats. I don't remember too much. Nothing really stuck out, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, especially Perriman. He's been solid for the Raiders for the last couple of years. Gets a lot of tackles and whatnot, stopping a lot of those runs. And then Christian Kirksey, he's a solid cover linebacker. He played for 1 season for the Packers a couple years ago, and he was okay.
Yeah. And they run a 4-3, so there's 3 linebackers back there instead of 4.
Yep. And then the secondary, I give them a 6 out of 10 there as well. They brought in Jimmy Ward from the 49ers following his defensive coach, now the head coach of the Texans, DeMeco Ryans. So he's been good, a good corner slash safety for them for the last few years. And so he'll probably be good for the Texans now. Derek Stingley Jr., who was the 3rd overall pick last year, going into the year 2. Now, they had the choice of between him and Sauce Gardner. They ended up going with Stingley. Probably should have gone with Gardner, but
yikes.
Stingley was fine as a rookie. He was no Sauce Gardner, but
he only played 9 games, it says.
Yeah, let's see if he can make that year 2 jump. They also got Steven Nelson back there, who was all right. Desmond King is also solid. He also is going to be their punt return guy, or at least has been for the last few years. We'll get to that in a second there. But yeah, secondary, I give a 6 out of 10.
You're not going to like me, but I give him a 7.5.
Oh my goodness, I don't like you.
Oh,
How could you?
I knew it. I knew you wouldn't. Yeah, I like the half points because I don't feel like they're an 8, but they're a little bit better than 7. I like half points. I mean, I'm more precise that way.
Some people are just half point people, you know. They can only go halfway.
Well, I can
commit.
My fault. Yeah, same kind of reasons you said. I think that secondary is a lot better than most of the rest of their team. It's kind of like bunch of trash, and you found something good in there.
Some like almost treasure.
Some almost. It's like you found some old Legos or something in the garbage or at Goodwill.
What you got at kicker?
Special teams. How about?
Oh, special teams. All right, I gave him a 3 out of 7.
Maybe 2.
Desmond King, he's a okay return guy.
Cool.
So there's that.
For kicker, I have him at a 5 overall. He is a good kicker.
Quimby Fairbairn.
He
only missed 2 field goals last year. He was 29 to 31 with I think a long of 58, right?
His long was 56, and he hit 6 for 6 out of the 50-plus yarders, 9 for 10 out of the 40 to 49, and he was pretty good in the other ranges too. I mean, shorter ranges.
Yeah, he's been a solid kicker for them for the last several years now.
24 of 24 extra points. He's a good kicker. I think he's the best in this conference.
Did they only score 24 touchdowns? Man, Houston, come on. I know you go for 2 every now and again, but it's not that often. All right, so what you got their total score at? Out of 105 potential points they could have gotten, how much did you give them?
My overall for the Houston Texans is a 57.
57. I got them a touch higher at a 62.
Yeah.
But not great. I mean, if you go back to the last episode, I think the lowest ranking I gave a team was the Steelers at a 73, and I think they're a borderline playoff team. So, yeah, a whole, 10 points underneath them there. It's not great.
I had the Browns at a 68.5. I had them at 68.8. I don't know why.
How did you do that?
I had them at 68.5, and that's my lowest for the AFC North. And then we just drop.
Probably going from the best division in the AFC now to the worst division today.
You think that's the best division?
In the AFC.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
every team there could make the playoffs. Technically, I think in the East, every team could, but the Patriots are just boring and will only win like 7 games.
You don't like the Patriots.
We'll
That's
get there
why.
when we get there for that episode.
We will get there
probably next week.
Yeah.
All right. So over under, Vegas has them at 5.5 wins, 5.5. What are you doing here?
That's tough, man.
That is tough.
Gosh dang. Man, what the heck?
Vegas is good at that.
No, I knew what I was getting into last week.
Yeah.
I was very confident in my guesses last week for the most part. But this one's kind of tough because they had 3 or 4 wins this year.
I think 3 wins, yeah.
3 or 4 wins
3,
this year.
13 and 1.
Man.
Maybe it was 4.
They have improved though, and they have a quarterback now, but that doesn't mean
and a head coach that I think they actually mean to build around this time.
Yeah. I'll take the over. Let's give them 6 wins.
I'm going to go under. I'm thinking 4 or 5. I think they might be a touch better. Having a rookie quarterback start for them probably a majority of the season unless they decide to roll with Case Keenum for a chunk of the year. But he doesn't have a lot of weapons to work with. David talked about this a couple episodes ago when we were going through the AFC and recapping the draft. He's going from having fantastic weapons at Ohio State, CJ Stroud is, to worse weapons, even though now he's in the NFL.
Yeah.
His weapons have downgraded.
Downgrade from college.
Now
That sucks.
Yeah, that's a major bummer.
Huge L. All right, on to the Colts, I think.
Indianapolis.
What do you got at quarterback?
I gave him just a slight edge over CJ Stroud. I gave Anthony Richardson a 10 out of 20, mostly because even if Anthony Richardson really struggles to throw, which he very well could, because he couldn't even complete 60% of his passes in college. So
Yikes.
we'll see about how it goes for him in the NFL. But at the very least, he's going to be a threat on the ground, much more than any of the other quarterbacks are going to be. So that could be scary for teams facing this Colts offense.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think especially pairing him up with Jonathan Taylor there, it's going to be a big run threat.
Mm-hmm.
And, you could always just dump it off to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
That's a completed pass right there.
There you go.
I got him
That's
at
all you
11 out of 20.
Yeah.
I think I had him on the same playing field as CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. They're both rookies. They're both very different players, and they're both in very different situations. So, yeah. For running back, I have him a 7 out of 8.
Ooh, samesies. I thought you'd be a little lower than that.
No,
he's coming off a down season.
He had a down season. He's still really good.
I think he's going to bounce back this year, especially with now they got Shane Steichen as their head coach. The Eagles the last couple of years, very good running team, and I think especially now with Anthony Richardson there, and I think Jonathan Taylor still very much has that ability. When he ran for 1,800 yards 2 years ago, that both of them could be big time running threats.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll draft him in fantasy because everyone else is going to be like, oh, he's trash.
Yeah, they might let him fall to you.
Yeah.
Just like how they let Cooper Kupp fall to you.
That's crazy.
And he got hurt.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Crazy how that happens.
Wide receivers.
Michael Pittman Jr. is a solid number one receiver. And he's carrying this group. They also got Alec Pierce. He had nearly 600 yards and 2 touchdowns last year, which was his rookie season. They also brought in Isaiah McKenzie in free agency, got him from Buffalo. And then they also drafted Josh Downs in the 3rd round, I think it was. So
third round pick, yeah.
3rd round pick. He could be solid. We'll see. So all that considered, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 12.
Man, you copied me. I got him at a 7 as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, not much to say add on top of that.
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said about the Colts receiving room.
All it needs to be said, yeah. Jonathan Taylor is going to be receiving too, so that doesn't really change their receivers, but I think it'll give them more options to throw to, having a good running back who's a running threat. He can run. Tight ends.
Tight ends, they got a solid group here, I'd say. I gave them a 4 out of 8. They got Mo Alley Cox. They got Kylan Granson. And
That's who they have at starter.
Yeah, it is who they got. I think Mo Alley Cox is going to be playing more. He's been starting for the last few years, but maybe they'll switch it up. And they also got Woods at tight end as well. So all in all, it's a solid group. So it's a 4 out of 8 right there.
I had him at 3, so that means that our scores are tied up right now.
Oh, yeah, because we only had a 1-point difference on quarterback. What'd you go for their offensive line?
I got him at a 4.
Same.
Stop.
Oh, man.
Ain't no way.
Quentin Nelson, he's been a fantastic guard for Indianapolis. I mean, he was an All-Pro, I think, his first 3 years, second-team All-Pro the next year. And then last year, first year of his career where he was not an All-Pro. Still a solid lineman, though. But, I mean, Indianapolis, as a whole, the Colts were just a mess last year. All in all.
Yeah.
And even one of their strengths, in recent years, their O-line wasn't good. And so they got some solid names on the line that you recognize, but they weren't playing solid last year.
Yeah, they let up 60 sacks and 422 yards.
That's crazy.
For sacks there. So that's probably why Matt Ryan
I feel like 4 is being kind of gracious.
4? Yeah.
For as bad as they were. But yeah, Quentin Nelson's the only reason this isn't like a 2.
Yeah.
Because he still exists.
We gave him 4 for hope for next year. And with information from last year and hope for next year, this is kind of what that is. It's like how we think they'll be, whatever.
Yep. So throughout all of the offense, we are tied.
Yeah. What about that defensive line?
Defensive line, I gave them a 9 out of 15. Did you give them a... Stop.
No, look at my... No,
you gave them a 9 out of 15. And you're not even copying us like you were in the last episode.
I had it written down beforehand.
You did.
Same with last episode.
Kwity Paye had 6 sacks last year. It's all right. It's pretty solid. That was his second season. So now going into year 3, it was a first-round pick. So, they're hoping he's got that high upside. They got DeForest Buckner, who had 8. Grover Stewart had 4. And then Dayo Obianbro had 5.
Abian, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a solid number of sacks there. They had a lot of tackles. Or not a lot of tackles, but a fair amount.
Solid line.
A lot of their tackles went to their linebackers, what we can talk about next.
Yeah, let's get to those.
Lot of tackles. 167 for Zaire Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bobby
Okereke?
I'm not doing all that.
Is it Bobby Okereke?
Sure.
I think it's him.
Yeah, Bobby Okereke had a lot as well, 150 some.
I think he might be on the Giants now, though. I'm not sure if he's there anymore.
Shoot. Oh, yeah, I can check their depth chart.
They do got Shaq Leonard is still there, and I don't know. I feel like he's fallen off a little bit because, he kind of came into the league. He was, I think, a late-round pick, like a day 3 pick, but then it didn't take him long to become a star. And I don't know. It feels like he's kind of fallen off over the last few years, but part of that, I think, just has to do with his position that he plays, too, at inside linebacker. It's not the most valuable position. EJ Speed also there in that linebacking core, too. Looks like he's going to be starting this season.
Yeah, good stuff. What do you have him at?
I got him at a 7.
I have him at a 6.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Thank goodness.
We're going to be one off and out of the DBs. What do you have for DBs?
I'm at a 5. What?
Okay, I also have at a 5.
Okay, cool.
Special teams is going to be where
you
got to make it up.
Their DBs are...
They're there.
They are players.
They got Justin Blackman, Rodney Thomas, Kenny Moore, Isaiah Rogers. It's okay. It's fine. That's there.
Yeah, that's all I really need to say about it. I mean,
what you got for special teams?
I'd like to hear what you got for special teams.
I have a 3.
Oh, I had him at a 6.
Oh, whoa.
Maybe.
What made you put him so high?
I think it was their yards. It was their kickoff return yards.
Okay.
And they have just under 1,200, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That really helps when you can get a guy to take it to midfield and not
save you 20 yards.
They save you 20 yards.
I mean, that's 2 first downs.
Yeah. A lot of it went to one guy, Dillis.
What's his name? You got it?
No, you can say it.
I don't know what it is.
No, yeah. Dallas Flowers.
Yeah.
Dillis, yeah. 715
I love the Dillis
yards.
Cowboys.
Dillis, yeah, that's...
Dillis Cowboys?
Yeah. But a downfall I didn't really take into account. They didn't have any kick return touchdowns.
Yeah.
They did get a lot of yards off it, though, and that's kind of a big thing.
Yeah, if you can get yourself that field position there.
Yeah.
Kicker.
And then your offense can score, but it can't.
Yeah,
so
but the Colts were the Colts last year, and they hired their center to be their head coach.
Yeah, that's crazy. What?
Remember they brought in Jeff Saturday?
Oh,
former center, not current center.
That's right, dude. Holy
I know
smokes.
the Colts last season were just like a fever dream.
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, if you can put up 1,200 yards from kickoff returns,
yeah,
and your team can at least perform slightly okay, you'd be winning games,
right?
But not so. It was the Colts. What do you have on kicker?
I got a 4 out of 5 for Matt Gay.
I also have a 4 out of 5.
Ah, so it's going to be special teams that puts the Colts above them for you over my ranking of them.
So do you have a 59 overall?
I have the Colts at a 60.
I have a 62 overall for the Colts. Don't have a lot of hope for them this year. They
brought in Matt Gay. He hit 94% of his kicks a couple years ago, and then 93% of his kicks the next year, this past season. So I think he's one of the better kickers in the league that they got there.
I think he's a top 5 kicker.
Yeah?
Maybe top 6, 7. I don't know. He's up there.
Top 8 even?
Top 12, 10, 15.
Top 13 kickers in the NFL?
Top 32 kickers for sure.
There you go. So you got him at a 62, you said?
I got him at a 62,
I got him at a 60, yeah.
You had the Texans over them.
I did, which was surprising. I do feel like the Colts are going to be a little bit better. So does Vegas. They have them at a 6.5 for over-under. What are you thinking there?
I'm going to take under on this one. I would have taken under if it was 6.5 for the Texans, but I think they'll get just over the 5.5.
Yeah. See, I feel like they're going to get 2-6. So I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
By only half a game, but.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of this is just, stats and how they played last year, it's the paper bowl essentially.
Yeah.
So I think Chargers are going to do well, but
Oh yeah, they're gonna score. They're gonna get perfect 105.
yep. Yeah, but a lot of this is it comes down to coaching and it comes down to how you play and all the other stuff, not just players.
Yep.
So that's why probably you can have the Colts under the Texans and the Texans can do worse. So onto the Titans, I think.
Tennessee Titans. What do you got for their quarterback situation?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Can you tell me about it?
No.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, they have but they still have Ryan Tannehill.
He's still kicking.
No, he's throwing. And a lot of them are to the defense.
Oops.
He had 13 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in 12 games.
That's only 6.
Yeah,
Every other game.
every other game, but you get half the amount of touchdowns in picks.
Yeah.
That's not good. I mean, 6 picks
not
isn't a
great.
lot, but
13 touchdowns isn't either.
13 touchdowns is worse than having 6 picks. To me at least.
Yeah.
If you had a lot of touchdowns and a lot of picks, sure, whatever. But you can't really. And then have
Well,
two.
he did.
Yeah, my fault. I think Lamar had more yards than him, and Lamar ran more, and he played, I think, the same amount of games.
Like 12 games, right?
12 games here,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have Ryan Tannehill at a 10.
I got him at a 12. I think he's still kind of an underrated quarterback in my opinion. He's no superstar. I think he is like a hair underrated. It's nothing crazy though. I don't think Malik Willis is going to be anything special for Tennessee. I don't think he's going to be their future, especially now that they drafted Will Levis. I'd like to see, Malik Willis maybe get a little bit of a fair shot, I guess. And by that, I mean just like trying to develop him, because they kind of felt like he played 2 games and then they just gave up on him, even though he was a rookie quarterback who came into the NFL incredibly raw. He needs to have a lot of time to develop and whatnot, but I mean, that might just be his downfall. And then Will Levis, he fell to them in the second round and is probably going to be the future of the team.
Yeah, I don't think they'll put him in a lot this year, though, at least for the first half.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
if they're really struggling, if Ryan Tannehill's really struggling, I bet you that Levis is going to get some playing time, and this could very well be Tannehill's last year in Tennessee.
Yeah, and even if it was Levis starting, I think I'd still have him in a 10.
Yeah.
So, on to running back. The best running back in the league, arguably.
Yo.
I had him at an 8 out of 8 because I think he is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And the system, I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you think a certain player or a certain group of players is the best out of the 4 teams, you can give them an extra point. So I gave in the running back slot, I gave it an 8.
Same.
And then I gave it an extra point because the best in not only the conference, but probably the league.
Yeah,
So
9.
I have it at 9.
Yep. Same here. Got it 9 out of 8 for Derrick Henry. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer at this point.
There's no way he's not.
Especially if he keeps up what he's been doing. Now, running backs do typically tend to fall off around his age. He's 29. He's going to be turning 30 in January at the end of the season. But I think the Kings just built different.
Based. I really hope he keeps going. And personally, I mean, I think he might still be here by the time of the year starting.
Is he going to be traded at some point in the season?
Yeah, because if he is, who do they have?
Hashawn Haskins, I think, is in there, right?
Sean Haskins is in there. Yeah, I mean, you saw them play a bit when Henry was out,
Yeah.
and they weren't terrible. Like they played all right, but they're not Derrick Henry.
They're not the same team without him.
And I really hope Derrick Henry goes to the Bills. I'd be pumped
Oh, man,
for that.
you'd love that. You'd order his jersey, like, immediately.
I might.
Thinking about it.
What was that?
What?
What was that?
I don't know. I was just making noises. I need to stop. I'm not real. Wide receivers.
Yeah, their wide receiver room shot.
Yeah, I got him at a 5 out of 12, just barely over Houston.
Got him at a 6, just barely over you.
Yeah. Traylon Burks was okay. His rookie season wasn't anything too special. And outside of that, there's not much. There's Nick Westbrook-Akine. You got Kyle Phillips, Chris Moore. None of those names are striking fear into me as a defense. Like,
None of those names are ringing bells for me as a enjoyer of football.
mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot there. Ever since the A.J. Brown trade, it's just been Nothing going on in that receiving room. Unless Burks can, have a good sophomore year here in Tennessee. But I don't know. I'm not too confident in him.
Yeah. On the tight ends, I'm at a 5 5 out of 8.
5 out of 8. I gave him just below that 4 out of 8. They got Chigakonkwo going into his second season. And as a rookie at 400 yards and 3 scores. So I think he could be the future at the position there. Going over to the offensive line, it's very meh. They drafted Peter Skoronski, 11th overall in the draft. That should be solid for them, should be a good improvement on that line. But really, outside of that, there's not really much to talk about here.
Yeah, I give him a 5 out of 10. I mean,
Exactly.
It's like, what do you think of when you think of the Titans? You think of
running the ball.
First thing you think of is Derrick Henry. Second thing you think of is Tannehill throwing picks, and then that's it. I mean, there's nothing special there.
Yeah, which I think is kind of a testament to Derrick Henry, though, that his offensive line isn't that good, and he's still out here running for 1,500, 2,000 yards, doing what he does.
Insane. I'd love to see him on the Bills with just on my team. That's what I want to see.
That's what you want to see, exactly.
Yeah. Defensive line, I got him an 11 out of 15.
I give him a 9.
Okay.
They got Jeffrey Simmons and D'Amico Autry. They combined for 15.5 sacks last year, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, good for them. It's it's not a lot to talk about, but not in a meh way. So I'm like, yeah,
It's solid. It's good.
yeah. There's like you can talk about somebody being really bad or really good, but there's a middle ground where they're like kind of bad, and that's where their O-line is. It's just kind of and then there's a middle good where it's like, yeah, all right, they're aligned, they're not giving up too much. And,
Yep, that's the line right there.
yeah, so it's whatever. On the linebackers,
Yeah, what you got going on there?
I got the number 6, and it's out of 10.
Same.
Yeah.
Harold Landry, he had 12 sacks last year, 75 tackles. Monty Rice was all right. Also had 66 tackles. It's okay.
Yeah, again, it's on the upper end of all right.
I think that might be our slogan for the Titans. Maybe we should come up with a slogan for every team too, because I kind of did that last episode with Baltimore, like good when healthy.
Good when healthy, yeah.
And so for the Titans, it's like, it's okay.
Man, it's okay. And Derrick Henry.
Yep, it's okay.
And Derrick Henry. On to secondary. What do you think?
I gave that also a 6 out of 10. They got some solid safeties in Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard, but their corners are kind of with Roger McCreary and Christian Fulton. Christian with the K, Fulton. At corner, it's kind of just...
Hey, I was talking about him earlier.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Very, very Titans.
Very Titans, yeah. I'm at an 8. A lot of it's because of Kevin Byard.
A lot of it's Christian Fulton.
Christian Fulton.
With his K.
Yeah, Kevin Byard had 6 passes deflected and 4 picks, and that's pretty good. 108 tackles. Yeah, good for him. Maybe 6 is, or maybe 8's too high, and that's okay.
Yep.
On to special teams now. Ooh.
I gave their special teams a 5 out of 7, and a lot of that has to do with their rookie punter from last year, Ryan Stonehouse. He set an NFL record for average punt last year, 53.1. So
that's
comes
crazy.
into the NFL, immediately sets a record. So, and with the way that the Titans offense is looking this season, he might be doing a lot more of that in the future.
Yeah, a pretty good punter, and they had close to 800 kickoff yards or kickoff return yards, and the Titans can at least somewhat capitalize on that.
Yeah,
for a little bit. I mean, Henry got 16, not 16. He got 13 touchdowns, and being closer to the goal line definitely helps.
For sure.
I gave him a 6 out of 7. I think maybe a bit high as well.
All right, and finally, kicker. They got they got 2 kickers on their roster. One is either the one they drafted or he was an undrafted free agent, something like that. They got a rookie kicker chilling there. And then their current starter, as of recording here, is Caleb Shudak, something like that. He had 4 attempts last year. He hit 3 of them. His long was only 38 yards, though, so it's not much to go off of. I ended up giving him a 2 out of 5.
Same here. He missed one from in between 30 and 39 yards. When you get your chance to go out there and do something, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And
He did it 3 times.
Which he did 3 times from 20 to 29 yards once, and then twice from 30 to 39.
There you go.
And just missed one. He did make his one field or extra point, so
Good for him.
good for him. Yeah. I don't have a lot of hope for all that kicking. I mean, but kicking is super easy, so anyone can do it, right?
We all don't understand how NFL kickers can just miss kicks,
Yeah, I know, right? Justin Tucker isn't even that good. He's just
not even good.
He's just good at not being bad.
So what you got for your total score for Tennessee?
I've met a 68.
I got him at a 62.
Ooh, you're low
So
on
same level as the Texans and a touch higher than the Colts.
Jeez.
Their over under is 7.5.
That's a good one too. Man,
It's a tough one.
they got 7 this year,
Yep, 7 and 10.
and I really hope they lose Henry. So
To
just
Buffalo.
just my hope on that. I think that they'll be under 7.5.
Yeah.
Especially with Tannehill and or a rookie quarterback and or whoever the frick the other guy is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the other guy's name.
Malik Willis.
Yeah, I don't know. Who that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I think we talked with David about this a couple episodes ago too, where it's like I think the Titans are going to be bad, but they're not quite going to be like first or second overall pick bad, not bad enough to get one of the
good.
top quarterbacks. Like they're going to end up with the 8th overall pick or something like that. And, you can get a good player there, but you're not going to be getting a game-changing quarterback more than likely at that spot. Granted, guys like Patrick Mahomes were drafted at 10, yada, 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 whatever. That's not a spot where you can draft Drake May or Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison Jr., any of those top names coming out in this next draft. And I think that's what they're going to be, probably 6 to 7 wins, so I'm taking the under.
Yeah, they might try and tank and try and get that quarterback.
Maybe they already got the quarterback on the roster.
I'm hoping Will Levis
Mayonnaise
does
boy.
good. Man is man.
Man is man himself. All right, last team here in the AFC
My
South.
favorite team.
John's team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. I love this team and love their organization and just how they played and everything about them, really.
Yeah, what are you thinking about the quarterback
I
position?
think he's pretty mid. And
I hate him.
I had him at a 14 out of 20.
Yep.
He played the way he did. I mean, he threw 4 picks in just one half of a game
And then came back
proceeded
from it.
to come back from it. So that's the lowest depths to the highest ceiling. Like he had a really low floor, but he has a high ceiling. I think he'll bring that floor up this year, hopefully. He has good weapons around him, so I think just coaching it, and it was like kind of his first year last year because he had an actual coach and it was kind of, it was his first year. He did play a year, but that was his first real, I don't know how to say it, like good experience.
It was
with
basically his rookie season.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I had him at 14. I think he's the best quarterback in this division, so I gave him an extra point. He's at a 15 out of 20 for me.
Yeah, I made him just below Lamar. I gave Lamar in last episode a 16 out of 20. But since he is the best quarterback in this division, bump it up to a 16 out of 20. And I think he could, I almost think that's like his floor is the 16 out of 20. I think he could be like a dark horse MVP candidate this season if he can reach, that potential and that hype he had coming out of Clemson, that generational quarterback prospect. I think he's got it in him. And so we kind of just still have yet to fully see that. He only had 25 touchdowns last year. They were awful at the beginning of the season. They're lucky they played in the division that they did. That's how they were able to even get to the playoffs in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's got it in him, but we still have to see it. And so that's why the highest I could give him was a 15 or I guess a 16.
Yeah, same here. Running backs.
Running backs, I gave it a 6 out of 8. I like Travis Etienne. He ran for 1,100 yards last season, and I don't see why he can't do that again. He's also a solid receiving back as well. And on top of that, they also drafted Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round of the draft, who had almost 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns in his 3 years at Auburn.
Yeah, for those same reasons, I gave him a 7 out of 8.
There you go. Solid group right there.
Receiving.
I gave them an 8 out of 12 here. It was originally a 7, but I think they've got the best group in their division there, which, I mean, we've already gone through all the other receiving groups. it doesn't take too much. I mean,
Pretty
he
garbage.
basically got to beat out Michael Pittman Jr. And so, like, the Christian Kirk signing, that's worked out so far. I mean, they signed him last year in the offseason in free agency. They gave him like $18 million. Everyone was clowning on him, and now it
1,100 yards.
doesn't look too bad. You know, he had his first 1,000-yard season. He was a good number one weapon for them. They also have Calvin Ridley coming back from suspension. They traded for him mid-season. Of course, he couldn't play at all because gambling and all that stuff. The question I have with Calvin Ridley is he still going to be good? Because we haven't really seen him play a full season since 2020, where he had himself 1,300 yards. He was real good that year, but it's 2023 now. Is Calvin Ridley still going to be good? I don't know, but I think that's a good bet to take, though, if you are Jacksonville. And then they also got Zay Jones, who's coming off a career year, 823 yards and 5 scores.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good room. You know, I mean, it doesn't take much to obviously to beat the other guys, but
Yeah,
I think even stood up to some other good teams. I think Christian Kirk's really good. Zay Jones is a good 3. With who is it coming back? You just said his name.
yeah, Ridley
Coming back. I think they could be, they could be pretty good in the AFC. The AFC is a really tough division. I think they'll win their or AFC is a really tough conference.
Yeah,
And I think they'll win their division hands down without.
yeah. I don't think it's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already taken the under on. I've taken the under on everybody so far.
Yeah.
So
So I have an 8 for receivers. Tight ends. Who do you think?
I got a 6 out of 8 here.
Uh-oh.
With Evan Ingram. He revived his career last season after it kind of looked like he was a bust in New York, and he kind of was, but, kind of, again, like reviving his career in Jacksonville. He had, 766 yards and 4 touchdowns. Can he keep it up, though? I don't know. We'll see. They also drafted a tight end in the second round in Brenton Strange.
Yeah, I also have him at a 6 out of 10. You do a lot of talking, and I just, me.
You do a lot of agreeing.
I do. Not all the time, though. Sometimes I don't.
Sometimes you say silly things.
Sometimes I say the true things.
What do you have for offensive line?
5. out of 10.
That's it. There you go. I got him just a touch higher. I got him at a 6 out of 10. They got Brenton Sheriff. He's a solid lineman, played a long time for the Redskins now, and is going into his second year in Jacksonville. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He was an All-Pro back in 2020. And then they also took an offensive lineman in Anton Harrison in the first round of the draft. Their offensive line wasn't great last year. It should be a little bit better this season, though.
Yeah. Defensive line now.
I got him at a 7 out of 15, and my notes just say it's okay.
Yeah, kind of a Titans thing going on there.
Yeah.
Just a touch higher at 8. Nothing impressive, nothing egregious. They only let. I mean,
It's okay.
Yeah, it's there. On the linebackers, they're a little bit more than there.
They are. I got them at an 8 out of 10.
Oh, here's the funny part. You're gonna love this. I have them at 7.5.
Whoa, half a point difference. I love those half points. They got Josh Allen there, the good Josh Allen, at linebacker, and he's pretty good. He had 7.5 sacks in 2021. He had 7 sacks last year. Javon Walker, he was a little bit of an underwhelming first overall pick for them this past season. He only had 3.5 sacks, but they're hoping that he can make that second-year leap. They also got Devin Lloyd, who was a solid rookie last year with 59 tackles and 3 interceptions.
The good Josh Allen.
The one who's good at football.
Yeah.
What do you think of the linebacking core?
Yeah, they're there. Josh Allen is the best Josh Allen in the league. I mean, he.
I should get you a Jags Josh Allen jersey.
Please do.
And then you bring it to a Bills game.
I will wear it. I will wear it if you get me a Jags Josh Allen jersey.
I'm not spending that much money.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, you were right. You were right in thinking that. What do you think of their secondary?
Secondary, I also have them at 7.5. So yeah, they have a couple solid guys there. I mean, nothing too fancy, and a couple safeties that are pretty good. They have I'm not gonna say names.
Rashawn Jenkins.
There's the words.
Yep, I gave him a 6 out of 10 for their DBs there. Like they said, they got Rashawn Jenkins, they got Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco, Darius Williams. All guys they're fine.
Yeah,
They're there.
Fine indeed.
Special
yeah,
teams.
Special teams indeed. What are your thoughts on the special teams gentleman there?
I think Jamal Agnew is a solid return man, and I give him a 4 out of 7.
Cool.
What do you think about their special teams? You love special teams.
Oh my goodness, I so do. They had 720 yards on returns for kickoff and 230 for punt. Yeah, it's better than some and worse than others. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I give him?
That's a good question.
5 out of 7.
5 out of 7. All right. And then finally, we got their kicker.
Finally.
It's about
I've
this
been
is all
waiting
we've all
for
been
it.
waiting for. The Jags kicker, Mr. Riley Patterson. What were your thoughts?
He made 85% of his field goals there. He had a long of 53, which is just loser. No. I mean, it's good. But he made 10 out of 13 for 49 to 50. He made 2 out of 3 for 50 plus, and he only missed 1 extra point. So, a pretty solid kicker. I mean, he's yeah.
Yeah, I got him at a 3 out of 5.
I do too. We
agreed a lot this episode.
Yeah, that's too much. We need to disagree more.
Yeah, we got to stop. I hate you.
Gotta start making. Oh, gotta start making some hot takes.
Oh, that's not a hot take.
Yeah.
What are your points all added up for Jacksonville?
Just add all 4 teams. Which
Yeah.
division's the
And
best?
give them all to Jacksonville. Well, this is the
I
worst
guess-
division we've done so far.
Yeah, I guess we could add up all the divisions at the end as well. See who has the best division.
What are your points for the Jags?
I got 72 overall.
72. I got him at a 70, which feels a touch low, but whatever.
No, it feels a touch right.
What feels a touch right?
72.
Boom. Over or under 9.5.
I'm gonna take over.
Same. I think
they'll
they'll
be-
probably get 11 to 14.
I think they'll get probably what was it, 9.5?
Yep.
I think they'll get 10 or up.
It's a good it's a good prediction.
Yeah, that's I think they could actually pull off a 13-game season or a 13-win.
Play 13 games.
And they're just out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we
They're-
forfeit.
I think they could pull off 13 wins.
I think they could too. Especially in that division. That could be 6 free wins, honestly.
Honestly, I mean, if you're going against Ryan Tannehill and 2 new guys,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to stop you?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing in that division.
And their safeties are just good enough to pick off some people like that and change the tide of the game. And their special teams will push it back.
And I think they've got the best coach in the division too, and Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Get it done, Jags, and Jags fans should be happy this year. And
Yep, it's your time to shine.
time to shine. Yeah. So I just a review. I had the Texans at a 57.
And then I had them at a 62.
I had the Colts at a 62.
I had them at a 60.
I had the Titans at a 68.
62 for me.
And I had the Jags at a 72.
And I had them at a 70. So despite all the agreeing, we didn't have any final scores matching up there.
Yeah. I think the highest scoring for me is still the Bengals at 81.
Same here. Bengals at 78.
78. Okay. Yeah. I had the Steelers at 78.5.
You had them up there. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Veteran and the Rookie podcast. Make sure you tune in next week where we're going to be going through probably the AFC East, going with John's Buffalo Bills and how they're just not going to win the division next year.
Yeah, bad
And how it's
Josh
going to
Allen.
go to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets,
Yeah, we'll talk about
the
all
best
that.
quarterback in the division,
We'll talk about all that and more
the bad Josh Allen.
next week. So, bye-bye.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching, for listening, for all the things. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.